Good morning, everyone. Our team is proud to present our project SecurePath, an access control system built using role-based access control, or RBAC. The project was developed by a 5-member team over the course of 15 weeks with the goal of designing a secure, scalable, and user-friendly system that improves how organizations manage access to sensitive data. In today's presentation, we'll begin with a walkthrough of our PowerPoint, which outlines the system's design, development process, and technical decisions. After that, we'll move into a live website demonstration to showcase the SecurePath interface, its core functionality, and how users interact with the platform in real time. Through both the slides and demo, we'll highlight how SecurePath integrates usability, affordability, and strong security principles to deliver an effective access control solution.
Slide 1. SecurePath is a role-based access control system designed by our 5-member team. Our goal was to create a secure, simple, and low-cost way for organizations to control access to sensitive information. Instead of giving every user full access, permissions are based on roles. This reduces data exposure, limits errors, and prevents unauthorized access. Slide 2. We will briefly cover the system overview, programming, and database choices, tools used, security features, testing, and the final conclusion. Slide 3. The project was developed over a 15-week period with 3 priorities: security, usability, and affordability. SecurePath gives administrators full control over users and roles, while keeping the interface simple for everyday users. The layout includes clear messages, straightforward navigation, and visual indicators that guide users through the system. Slide 4. Many organizations struggle with weak access control or expensive security software. Smaller schools and businesses often can't afford enterprise systems. We wanted a solution that was secure, easy to use, and financially realistic. With RBAC, every user only sees what their roles allow, which prevents accidental access to sensitive information. The system works on a small scale, but it can also be expanded to larger databases in the future. Slide 5. Python was used for the back end because it is secure, widely supported, and excellent for authentication and database communication. HTML and CSS were used for the website interface. These tools are free and easy to maintain, which supports long-term sustainability. Slide 6. We chose SQLite because it is lightweight, reliable, and able to store user accounts, roles, and audit logs. It avoids data duplication and keeps records accurate. Even though SQLite is small, the system can be upgraded to MySQL or PostgreSQL, making it scalable for real-world environments. Slide 7. Development used personal laptops, Visual Studio Code, GitHub, Canva, Discord, and Google Docs. All tools were free, and optional hosting could be done using free cloud services like Heroku. The total project cost was essentially zero, providing financial sustainability. Slide 8. SecurePath runs in a standard web browser and supports HTTPS encryption for secure communication. The interface provides login confirmations, alerts, and dashboard messages to help users understand what actions were successful or denied. These simple visual features reduce confusion and improve user experience. Slide 9. When users log in, the system verifies their identity, checks their role, and records the action in an audit log. Outputs include dashboards, reports, and access alerts. Logging every action creates accountability and transparency for administrators. Slide 10. We used an incremental development module. The backend authentication and RBAC features were built first. Then the front end was added, followed by database integration. Testing happened after each stage to confirm stability and fix errors. This method reduced risk and created a clear path from prototype to working system. Slide 11. Even though the system is simple, a brief training plan helps new users understand secure login, dashboard navigation, and requesting role changes. Training reduces mistakes and helps organizations adopt the system smoothly. Slide 12. Security features include role permissions, multi factor authentication, HTTPS, and continuous audit logging. These layers protect sensitive information, reduce cyber risk, and show that the system follows modern cybersecurity practices. Slide 13. SecurePath went through functionality testing, integration testing, stress testing, and small user acceptance testing. Test users gave feedback on design and usability, and the system stayed stable with multiple active sessions. These results show that the system works reliable and is ready for real world use. Slide 14. Because the system is free and open source, smaller organizations can improve their security without financial burden. This supports digital safety, reduces data misuse, and increases cybersecurity awareness. Slide 15. In conclusion, SecurePath is secure, scalable, and affordable. It meets a real organizational need and is easy enough for everyday use to operate. With strong authentication, audit logs, and room for future expansion, the system has clear value and long term potential. The project demonstrates technical success, social impact, and financial feasibility, making SecurePath a practical access control solution.
Hi, my name is Eduardo Osuna, and I'm here to showcase the backend and the source code of our program. So I want to highlight the directory right here. As you can see, we have the main.py file, which is where the program starts. We have the authentication.py file, which handle authentication. Database.py file that handles creating, initializing database, creating tables, and so on. Models.py file, it just validates users input at login. So make sure the username is a string and the password is a string. Routes.py file, this is the core of our project. It has a lot of the functionality and logic that makes up our project. And utils.py file, this is for storing data for logging purposes. So storing like the time, the date, and so on. So this is used for the logs. And here I want to highlight some of these other directories. So we have the template directory. This has all the HTML pages that we created and that we call on when we need them. The static also is what holds the CSS file that holds our style or the look of our website or our program. So I want to start off at the main PY file. That PY file. This is where the program starts, and as you can see, this is a fast. We use a fast API framework, and we have some functionality like the middleware, for example. What this does is prevents the browser from caching uh, our sites. So if we were to leave the program and press back, to go back to a previous page, it will not load it because it's not stored in the storage, right? And here, like for example, here we have we initialize the database. So let's go to database, and what that does, it creates tables. So we create the user table, role table, permission table, and so on, log table, and also we initialize or the default roles, which is admin, staff, and guest. Default permissions, all right here. Um, the we assign these permission to the roles. So here you see that the admin gets all the permissions, while the uh, staff gets some permissions, and guests get even more limited permissions by default, right? And yeah, I want to highlight this function right here. And what this does is connects, it allows all other files to call onto this function to connect to the database in order to store and get information from the database. So last file I want to go over is the routes.py file. This makes up the bulk of our project because you can see we have so much functionality. You can tell by all the imports that we imported. This is the hashing algorithm we use right here. Um, and for example, this function right here, what this does, it builds the navigation menu that's at the top of every page, depending on the user and their permissions. And if we scroll down, we see all these are routes. All these are routes. And I don't have time to go over all of them, but I do want to go over some just so you guys get. And what these routes do is they load HTML pages based off the user permissions and roles that they have and any actions they take. So for example, let's start with this top one. This one right here, if you try to access the page without being logged in, it forces you to log in. This one loads the login.html. This one right here, what this one does is it handles your login information, password, username, and so on, and locks you in. And there's so many more that we can go over that we just don't have time for. For example, this right here, it's the log file. It loads the view logs page that only by default only the admin would have, and so on. And yeah, so all of these are routes that has a bunch of functions and functionality that loads pages based off your user, based off the permission and the role that you have, and any actions you take before clicking on a link. And so this makes up our backend. Thank you for listening to my explanation of the backend, and I will pass it on.
Welcome to this live demonstration of Secure Path Access Control System. Before we begin, I want to point out what we included on the login page. Here users can see a brief history of the Secure Path project, our mission statement, and the organizational structure of the team responsible for developing and maintaining the system. The history explains how and why the project was created. The mission statement outlines our goal of delivering an affordable and secure access control solution, and the organizational structure shows the roles within our development team. In today's demo, I'll walk through the system from the perspectives of 3 system roles: the admin, staff, and guest, and show the responsibilities and managing of each role and what they can access and use. When the administrator logs in, they are instantly shown the landing page for Secure Tech Employee Portal, which shows them home, news, jobs, pay, resources, staff dashboard, logs, and admin dashboard. With inside the admin dashboard, you can manage users, manage roles, manage permissions, view logs, and view company site. With manage users, they can add a username and password and the certain role that the user gets. The system already has 3 users in place: the admin, staff, and guests with an ID. They can also edit permissions and add a name of the permission, a description, and add the permission. They can assign the permission to the role, such as admin, and manage users and assign. The current assignments shows what user has the current permission that is made or already in place. With logs, it shows the different actions that are being performed with an ID, a username, the action that was performed, a timestamp, and if it was successful or not. Overall, administrators have full control over users, roles, permissions, and system activity. They keep the platform secure, organized, and properly managed. This is the staff login page. Staff members have a limited access compared to administrators. They only have home, news, jobs, pay, resources, staff dashboard, and logs. The news shows internal job news, such as announcements from Secure Tech, internal job postings, pay-related information and benefits, resources that the employees might need, and the staff dashboard shows workplace safety policies, daily task report, Secure Path operations manual, and confidential data policy. Logs also give the employees the ability to look at different errors that they might encounter if they are trying to do certain tasks within Secure Path. Staff members can only use what pages that are meant for their daily work, and this keeps the system simple for employees and also protects sensitive areas of the website. Overall, the staff role gives employees exactly what they need and nothing more, which helps maintain both usability and security. When a guest user logs in, they are greeted with a very limited dashboard. They are the most limited out of all three roles and are typically used as a temporary or have restricted access. As you can see, the guest dashboard is very, very limited and bare. Guests cannot modify anything, access system settings, or view sensitive information. They can only see basics and read only areas with controlled visibility. For example, they can see the team and contact us and view the mission. And they can only be able to do these 4 basic tasks. They cannot do anything further than that. That concludes the demonstration of Secure Path Access Control System. You have now seen how the administrators, staff, and guest roles each experience the platform differently, and how the system enforces permissions to keep everything safe and properly managed. SecurePath is designed to be simple, secure, and scalable, giving organizations a reliable access control solution without unnecessary complexity.
In conclusion, the Secure Path Access Control System represents the culmination of our team's efforts to create a reliable, secure, and accessible solution for managing organizational data. Over the course of this project, our team successfully designed and implemented a prototype that integrates role-based access control, multi-factor authentication, and encrypted communication, all while maintaining an emphasis on usability and cost efficiency. Through our research, development, and testing phases, we demonstrated that effective access control doesn't have to be a complicated or expensive process. By using open source technologies such as Python, HTML, CSS, and SQLite, we produce a system that's not only practical for academic and small-scale environments, but also scalable for larger enterprise use. The SecurePath website demonstration showcased how these technical components came together to deliver a seamless user experience, enabling administrators to manage roles, track activities, and maintain data integrity with clarity and confidence. Beyond its technical success, the project carries meaningful social impact, promoting stronger cybersecurity practices, equitable access to protective technologies, and greater awareness of secure information management. Moving forward, the system could easily be expanded with additional modules, cloud integration, or enhanced analytics for broader applications. Thank you for your time and attention. Our team appreciates the opportunity to share this project.